welcome to the Labyrinth. My guest today is Ishi Raghuvanshi. She's a model. She works in the social media space. She is part of Sarad Kalra's organization, who was here on the podcast last week. She's also a podcaster. Her podcast is called We Know Nothing. You can check it out on Spotify. She also recently started her own YouTube channel. You can check that as well. All the links are in the description. So her podcast is called We Know Nothing, but in this podcast today with Ishi, we are going to learn something new.
I hope
Okay.
so. Even I will learn something new.
Yeah. Okay. So how have been? How have you been? Sorry.
I've been well. I've been great. Actually, we've been really swamped with work because the TFM, the Freeman that you mentioned,
Hmm.
that I work for, we just completed 3 years recently on 15th August. So we were really swamped with people and getting um, all the traffic on the website, etc. So we were very grateful, and we were celebrating that. So I've been really swamped with work. I have things going on in the background as well, which people know soon
Hmm.
about. And yeah, the creative direction is going on as usual. But yeah, that's how I have been.
Yeah. So, what kind of work do you do?
Okay, yeah, that's a very common question that I get because the work that I do on social media, it's a mix of fashion plus writing plus speaking plus expression. So it's really about expression for me. I've been always a person who would not stop until like she gets the answers because I've been very curious and I keep asking questions and my mom and dad were just very pissed by that trait of me. So that translated into expression
Hmm.
as I got mature because then I understood that you can't get questions to everything right and now, you will get them eventually if you ask like the right questions. So that translated into my work. I do a lot of creative direction. I do product placements. I work with brands in that sense as well, behind the cameras plus on the camera. So I do a lot of that. Plus, yeah, modeling. Sometimes I do that. It depends. It really depends on the brand that I'm associating with, and most of my work in the creative field is about photo artistry. It's about creative expression. Uh, and I've also been working on my book, which is going to be out soon because I
Oh,
write as well.
okay.
Yes,
Wow.
so I try to blend my writings and my sense of fashion and pictures together, and people seem to love it.
Hmm.
So that's what I've been doing online. And with the Freeman, I work here as a content editor. I am the senior content
Okay.
head here, and all the content that you see on the Freeman, I'm the one who creates it. I'm the one who plans it. Yeah, so Sarath is the founder, he's the team leader, and I'm there. And then there's a website guy we have, and there's a few more people we have. So, yeah, here we work for men because we feel there is a need to bring masculinity back into society. So, I do my part like that.
Okay.
Um, and with the YouTube channel, I have been there's just like 2 videos there. So people, if they go there with their expectation, please don't be disappointed. Although I am making a lot of videos because, the expression, it doesn't really come consistently like how our beloved social media algorithms want us to do, like keep posting. But creatively, it doesn't happen like that. There are blocks that you need to kind of
Hmm.
like make sense of. Then you can, because when I speak, it's really from the heart. It's not something that I've read somewhere, or yeah, I would give references, but it's really from what I've been through or what I want to express. So even if that
Okay.
comes in writing and speaking. So yeah, I've been working on YouTube channel as well. So let's see how it
Okay.
goes.
So you said you just mentioned that you're working on a book. What's your book about?
So, Pratham, over time, I've written a lot of short form captions on various subjects, whether it's philosophy, whether it's what is going on in the world, whether it's geopolitics, whether it's um, feminine expression, whether it's about polarities in the world. It's a lot of different concepts.
Hmm.
Uh, that I've been talking about as I've been experiencing them, and people loved it. Like they loved my writing, they loved what I had to share,
Mm.
my perspective. I got a lot of backlash as well, but I'll not go, go into
Mm.
that. Um, so I've been planning to compile all of that into a book
Okay.
um, for people to read. That that's what I've been planning to do.
Okay. Okay. So you are in the social media space, and I know that you got shadow banned a few months ago. So why
Yes.
did you get shadow banned, and how does it feel to be shadow banned?
Well, I made their list, so I'm very proud of it, first of all. I was, yeah, I mean, I never knew that I would, like make their like hit list or something like that.
Mm.
But yeah, so my account, my older account, which I still have, but I'm not active on that anymore. So
Mm.
I've been, like, that's how like, I put my all my hard work there. I've been working in this space since like 5 years now, 5+ years now. And the account had like good numbers, it was like 80,000, 85,000 something. And suddenly I saw what was going on in the world with COVID and all that, and I was just telling people to put their brains first before they make any decision to put anything in their bodies, which might be which
Mm.
might um, cause them more harm than
Yeah.
good. And I was trying to tell them a lot of things. I've also posted a lot of articles from doctors, which are now no more doctors according to the medical
Mm.
firm of doctors,
Yeah.
because they had a different perspective to share. So I shared a lot of documents from them telling people that even doctors are telling you to just think before you make a decision. And I did. I was not aware that Instagram would do something like this, where they would just my reach started getting very 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 low.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, there's something wrong. And I could understand, because I can understand. I know what they want, and they don't want people to talk about all these things, because that goes against their agenda.
Mm.
So I've been talking about that, and I got 2 strikes from them. Now you can check like an account status also. They're also from a previous account. I already have 2 strikes. They took down my posts. They gave me warnings, all of that, and then they eventually like shadow banned my account, because they cannot delete my account, right? There's no grounds to delete it. Um,
Mm.
so they drastically dropped my reach to the point where even my like all the numbers started shrinking, all that. I didn't understand what was happening. I was putting out same content, and even better content, out,
Mm.
and it was not reaching people. I was meeting people on the streets here where I live.
Mm.
If I'm traveling somewhere, I'm meeting them at the airport, and they're saying, "Why are you not posting anything? What is
Mm.
happening?" And I said that, and now I understand what is happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I have screenshots and all the data I've collected, because of course I
Yeah.
did my homework to show them that yeah, I am shadow banned, guys, and I still am
Mm.
there. People were not able to find me unless they type my whole name. They were
Mm.
not able to tag me. It was all that was there. I'm still not able to run ads if I want to, from Facebook ads or Instagram ads. I cannot use it
Mm.
on that because I'm not allowed to. So it's a lot of like resources that they have just deprived, social resources, social
Yeah.
media resources that they have deprived me from. So then I was like, fuck it, let's make new account. And I did that, and that did pretty well. It's still doing pretty well. I started it in November,
Yeah.
and it's doing pretty well in terms of numbers, in terms of people, but it's just you have to start all over again.
Mm.
Some things that you so dearly like made.
Mm.
I really don't like now. I'm at a place where I even if like something happens to my Instagram accounts, I will not. I don't. I'm very content.
Mm.
I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be in this space. I'm there because it's work. I'm there because that is the only place left where there are people of different thought processes together,
Mm.
and there you can, if you're expressing something, you will find your audience. You can
Yeah.
still find, there's still possibility like that on Instagram. I can't do that on, let's say, YouTube. It's a
Mm.
completely different platform, because
Yeah.
I am in content, so I've studied these platforms over the years, and how they've changed, and what are they doing, all that.
Mm.
So in all that sense, the platform is good, but how they're operating in the shadows is very 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 bad. And my whole mission, like, I have dedicated my life to be able to speak my truth and inspire people to speak their truth, like no matter
Mm.
what, no matter what platform you're on, or no matter what. But then it comes at a cost. That's what I've learned. It comes at a cost of your business, your livelihood. They know,
Mm.
like that suffered. My livelihood suffered. It's a lot that I went through. But then I was like, I'm not. I'm gonna start another account. I'm gonna start another place, and I'm gonna be smart about it. So I
Yeah,
created my own Telegram group. I speak there. I've created a YouTube channel now. I'm also now coming up with my own website, so there people can find content. I've written my books, so there are a lot of ways to express, right?
yeah.
So
Good for
that's
you. Yeah.
thank you.
Even
Thanks.
I've been shadow banned. My video got
Oh my
taken.
God,
Yeah.
why?
On YouTube, my video got taken down because this is a very old video. In December, I got a lawyer from Mumbai. She came as a guest because she sued vaccine company. She filed a case against the other Punawala and Bill Gates.
That's
Uh,
very brave of her. I applaud of
yeah.
that.
And she gave a detailed analysis of her client who passed away because of Covishield. And she gave a very
Wow.
detailed analysis, and the video got taken down. And I still have one strike, which will last 3 months. So on my videos, I can't put thumbnails for 3 months. Even if I put thumbnails, it won't show on the video. There are some
Oh my
issues.
God.
Yeah.
With the free man also, we have been facing issues. It's very surprising, I mean, Sarat might have
Ah,
told you. She keeps speaking about that. We have been facing issues with his YouTube channel as well, because that's our biggest marketing channel, for the free man.
okay.
Because there are very, yeah. So even we are facing a lot of issues with regards to being stuck on a number since 2+ years.
Okay.
Even when you post like content for like males, you're teaching them some stuff, and
Mm,
given his history and his work that he's done for the community, it's very uncanny to what is happening, on our YouTube channel as well. That's topic for another day.
yeah. It's surprising that they're trying to censor something like Freeman also. It seems that there is an
Because
active.
we work for masculinity, and they don't
Yeah,
want that.
yeah. There
They
is
don't
an
want.
active war on masculinity right now.
Yes. I see that because the other day we were at this place, we were gathering and meeting few friends, and um, there was some feminists who just like surrounded us, and like she was trying to get like a response from me, like, so you mean this and so you mean that, and I'm like, I'm not. Do you hear yourself? I'm
Yeah.
not saying anything.
Mm,
You want a particular response, and you would do anything to get that response from me.
mm,
And that's how they usually operate. And not only feminists, I'm just like, I'm not talking about the movement. I'm talking about like how
yeah.
the radical ones. I'm talking about them. So them, and there are corporations, and there are big forces behind making. They'll do anything to make everybody the same,
Yeah.
and the first thing that you do is make men, because they protect the society, they protect
Mm,
the civilization. They are the ones who would step up and like save women and children first, right? We
yeah.
don't say that save men and children first.
Mm,
So they put their lives online and they protect, because the first masculine principle is to protect.
mm,
That's how, and it's not like you're forced to protect. It's something that comes from within for a man.
mm,
That's what I've observed looking at men that we work with, looking at the work that we do.
yeah.
I've seen that firsthand. And
Yeah.
if you want to control a society,
Mm,
you break down the wall which is protecting it.
yeah.
You just and they've used guilt and shame
Mm,
for men to just control them.
yeah.
That's what they've done. Same
They,
with females, they've done the same here.
yeah. They try to portray masculinity as toxic and femininity as victims. Like these women, they are choosing to do these things, therefore they're victims. And what's ironic is that they talk a lot about diversity, but they're actually making people more homogeneous. They want everyone to have the same opinions, and they want everyone to vote for the same policies, which is very ironic.
It is very ironic, it is very hypocritical in my opinion,
Mm,
right? And people who can see through this bullshit, they don't want these people on their platform.
yeah.
Because what if they wake up the others, right? That's what happened with me. That's what happened with so many people that I know from the community, the people who know what is going on, you know.
Yeah.
And it's a very simple example that I can give is that look at how reels work, right? Look at how they just want everybody to use the same trending music. You know, they want
Mm,
everybody to do the same steps. They want everybody to do the same challenge. Like art has become content.
yeah.
You know, it's like no,
Mm,
art is art. You know, you can't make it content for a social media platform who just wants your attention and nothing else, and they would do anything. They would give you any kinds of lollipops, you know, and you
yeah.
would suck on it and you'd be like, yeah, yeah, it's good.
Mm,
It's not good.
yeah.
You know, it's like they want it's a factory at this point. That's what I call it. You know, like they want same kind of influencers. They want same kind of. You will find, you know, when you go through Instagram, right? When you go through your home feed or when you go through the explore feed, you'll find that there are similar looking people.
Mm,
They're wearing similar clothes. They're posing in similar ways. You know,
yeah.
and it tells you a lot. Because then if everybody is same, then everybody is easy to control. Diversity is not easy to control, and India is the biggest example for it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So here also they're trying to do the same thing, but here I think it will take more time. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that here it's not possible. I wish that it's not possible here. You know, but our diversity is our strength in India, is what I think. You know, it's very
Yeah.
tough for us to control, for anybody to control us like
Mm,
that.
yeah.
And only way in which you control people who are diverse is that you just pit them against each other. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what happened with us also. Like that's how Britishers ruled us as well. Otherwise,
Mm,
it was impossible for them to rule us.
mm,
So for the so it's just like the same thing the same phenomenon is there on social media everywhere. They want people to do the same thing, to look the same, to be the same, to say the same, to behave the same. People I've seen, they politically correct themselves in real life.
mm, yeah.
When I'm sitting with somebody, you know, physically, I'm there sharing energy, and they start politically correcting themselves in the conversation. And I immediately tell them that you don't have to do that. It's a real world conversation. And when you have a real world conversation, there is no, you cannot make sure that you don't offend somebody. You
Okay.
will offend somebody,
Yeah.
right? So that's social media. People they have blurred the lines so much
Yeah.
that now they are the conditioning is just mad, absolutely mad.
Yeah. Eh,
It's playing in real life for
mm,
people.
yeah. You know, you just mentioned that that recently you were surrounded by feminists. Earlier, when I would meet such people, feminists or leftists or call them whatever you want, you know, they're different groups who have a very loud opinion. I would try to talk to them or argue with them, try to find common ground or something. But now I'm at a point where I just say, your opinion has been rejected. It was nice talking to you, and I just walk away. I don't have that patience anymore. I've reached my tipping point.
Yes, at a point, I would say the victim mentality that you talked about, right? Many
Yeah.
of them are operating in that. I feel bad for females more than I've ever felt bad for them.
Mm,
Like I feel they've been cheated by the world into this phenomenon of feminism. They've been lied to. It's a big disguise that they are living in, you know. And it usually hits females in the later stages of their lives when they are not that attractive anymore to the society. They're not, you know, their sexual market value goes down, like how, you know, people on YouTube talk about those terminologies, and it's true, you know. But what they want to do is that because corporations benefit off of body positivity, and
mm,
they benefit off of women empowerment, you know, when I don't know how exactly they empower a female when they're using women empowerment in a campaign where they're selling their clothes.
mm, yeah.
Like it's very tough for me to believe that you're empowering a female. How are you empowering a female exactly? Tell me. You know, you're empowered. You say that female empowerment means like females can do anything by themselves and they don't need anybody, etc. That's opposite of female empowerment, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, females thrive on interdependency because the world is interdependent. You know, you cannot survive alone. You cannot survive without water,
Mm.
right? Uh,
Yeah.
Plants survive on us as well because we give them carbon dioxide. So it's an interdependent world, right?
Yeah.
And when you say that you don't need anybody and you don't need men to live, you know, or you don't need partners, and you look at the lives of these kind of females, they're absolutely depressing,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Very depressing.
Yeah, they're absolutely. And how will they not be? Because they don't have any place to express their femininity,
Mm.
because they
Yeah.
have blocked themselves of
Mm.
all the support that they can get,
Yeah.
you know. And they females have trouble receiving these days, and I'm not saying it's completely 100% their fault. Society has disguised them as well.
Mm.
You know, there was a generation of males who were not really aware of their good side of their masculinity, and they did kind of did a lot of things which were absolutely horrible, you know,
Mm.
and should not be done on any kind of creature on this planet, not
Mm.
only
Yeah.
females, you know. But at the same time, if you punish this generation for what the previous generations did, I don't see how it makes sense.
Mm.
When this generation is anyways very cordial and anyways very supportive of, you know, everybody.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
it's really about I see a lot of push from corporations, because when you
Mm.
see when feminism started, right, it started because Rockefeller, right,
Mm.
that foundation and the founder of Rockefeller Foundation, they were the building blocks of America and what it is today, right? These guys,
Mm.
these industrialists, bunch of them, and they are the reason with they are the reason why America is a superpower today,
Mm.
right? Or was, I don't know what it is now, but at the same time, so they saw that, you know, majority of workforce is males, right,
Mm.
and females are usually doing the household
Housework.
chores, etc., right?
Mm.
So they saw that there is a major chunk of society which is not
Mm.
paying taxes.
Yeah. We need more tax slaves.
So we need more tax slaves.
Mm.
And what should we do? We should make women join the workforce. So they
Yeah.
started with females should join their factories. They'll be paid this, they'll be paid extra, blah, 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 blah. All of that campaigns they started. And from there, it all started. You know, so the reason was to enslave you anyways. The root cause behind all of that. Yes, it mutated into something which then was feminism, and then was the first wave and the second wave, and now there's a third wave. Yes, there were a lot of benefits of it as well,
Mm.
right? But I don't see anybody talking about females in Afghanistan and what is happening to them
Yeah.
now. Like, why don't feminists go there and do all their morchas and all their, you know,
Mm. Slut
everything there?
walks and everything.
Yeah, all of that there. I don't understand. It's very they're living in a bubble, and only from
Mm.
that bubble they want to shout. But when it comes to reality, when it comes to facing adversity in life, you will definitely need a man.
Mm. Yeah.
You
We.
cannot, yeah, you cannot, yeah, you can fight the world alone. Yeah, you can survive
Mm.
alone. Yes, of course. But do you want to do that? Do you have to do that?
Yeah.
Who are you
We.
proving anything to?
Yeah, we are better off being interdependent. And I think modernity has isolated all of us, especially in the past 2 years. On one side, we see a lot of women going into radical feminism and hating on men and saying that patriarchy is and masculinity is all bad. And on the other side, we see the same thing happening to a lot of men as well. There are a lot of men who are hating on women. We have this huge incel culture amongst men who are locking themselves inside their house and watching pornography whole day and going on social media and leaving very disgusting comments about women online. So I think the root cause of all this is isolation and lack of interdependency. And right now there is a urge to get a sense of community. I'm desperate for a community. I don't mind starting my own cult. That's how desperate I am
You
for.
should join the Brotherhood then. I think you would find better people there.
Mm.
you know. Commune has always been a play, like when you look at human history, right, commune has always been this place where people come together for a cause and they feel a sense of belonging. People don't have a sense of belonging
Mm.
these days, and that is depressing. For a human being, it's very important for them to feel a place of belonging, you know.
Mm.
Usually it's your family, you
Mm.
know, but with our generation specifically, most, I'm not saying everybody, but most young people have this trauma with their family, you know,
Yeah.
like in some way they were not able to understand them, in something happened, I don't know what. I don't know if
Mm.
it's a curse on our generation or something, but everybody
Mm.
has this tug of war with their parents, you know. So
Mm.
there is no safe, there is no, I'm not saying there is no like physical safety or something like that, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying there is no spiritual safety there for you
Mm.
to, you know, open up or bloom like a flower, and then, you know, have that sense of belonging and community. So now people are, that's how people started looking for that online on social media. That's how social media got popular, right? Because you make the real world depressing and then you give them, yeah, like, to sell them
Mm.
something else. It's just a selling cycle again and again and again and again for people, and they just absolutely caught up in that. But anyways,
Mm.
so that happened, right? And then people started looking for that commune, the sense of commune online. Now what is happening is that because of whatever is going on social media, people are getting off of social media platforms, and then again they are getting back to finding communities in the physical world, you
Mm.
know, because that's where the actual communication is going to happen. That's where the actual, you know, because you can't express through text so much, you can't express through um, online world so
Yeah.
much, you know. You have to, there is something different about people sitting together and like sharing their
Mm.
energies, you know. So the sense of belonging is lacking from today's generation, and that is, I think, the number one reason where people are just hating each other, etc. Because it's just, it's a very very big gap between understanding when it comes to males and females. They don't get each other anymore.
Yeah.
They don't understand why females, for example, don't directly tell me what do they want, you know. She's
Mm.
never going to do that. It's not in her nature. You have to understand that. At the same time, females don't understand, you know, why he's for example not sharing with me anything today, or why is he not speaking. Well, sometimes males, there's mental dialogue, they don't want you to be the part of it because
Mm.
they want to protect you from it. It's not like they don't want to tell you something, you know. So it's very basic, right? But they don't understand it because simply the basis of understanding is they've kept it they've kept it the Gen Z
Mm.
way. You know. And well, that doesn't work when it
Yeah.
comes to nature, because like how we even have like a different word for nature, right? We have like, oh, nature, like as if we are not part of nature, like
Yeah.
we are not nature, right? So when you're coming from that kind of a conditioning,
Mm.
when that is the basis of your intellect, like how it functions, and when that is how you look at the world, when you look at the world as something which is separate,
Mm.
everything which is like everything we have given names, everything we have just, you know, separated from our being.
Mm.
So when you your conditioning is that, and your basis of thinking is that, and from that you're making an attempt to understand other human being, you would, there is no other way for you to not immediately project your shadows on them.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
they'll see your shadows first, and then if they're patient enough, which most people are not, then
Mm.
they'll see your real self, and then you will be fortunate to see their real self as well,
Mm.
you know.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're spot on. I mean, though a lot of men do not understand women. I'll admit. Okay, I don't understand women. I really don't. So I'm going to make an attempt right now to understand. Okay, why women behave in certain ways. uh, why are a lot of women very indirect in their a lot, not just indirect but passive aggressive.
Hmm.
They say things but they don't mean it,
Hmm.
and a lot of men get confusing signals, and they
Hmm.
ask themselves, wait a minute, did I do something wrong? Like, what's happening here? Why
It
does
has
that
happened
happen?
with me a lot of times as well. I'm
Okay.
guilty of that as well. See, what happens with females is that you have to understand females are very emotionally in tune.
Mm.
And females go in cycles. Males go in a straight line. Like males, if they wanna, let's say, if from 6 months from now, if you decide that I wanna have this amount of money, For 6 months, you're going to have the tunnel vision and you're going to go for it. You know,
mm,
masculine energy is forward movement.
mm,
It's like this. That's
mm,
why we have the lambda and the Freeman. It's ascension, right? But it has a lot of meanings. One of the meaning is forward movement as well,
mm,
right? That is a male for you.
mm.
When it comes to females, I'm not saying they cannot do forward movement because it's going to go online, so I have to politically correct myself. I'm not saying that. But at the same time, when it comes to primal way of functioning, when it comes to subconscious way of functioning, because everybody, we think we are communicating consciously. We communicate more in subconscious ways than we communicate in conscious ways, in my opinion. So our
Okay.
subconscious, yeah. So subconsciously, males are, males are the energy which will go from point A to point B and get the thing done, getting things done,
Mm,
right? With females, it's more like feeling things.
okay.
It's more like being in the thing.
Mm,
It's more like if you say if like that's what like if you tell a female that oh what do you want, she'll not tell you directly
mm,
because at the same time with females because we are in tune with our emotions and emotions are never constant.
mm,
Emotions are always waves, they are tides. It's
mm.
moon, right? Moon, how moon affects the lunar, sorry, the tides, right, in the
Okay.
ocean. So women are also connected to moon. Our cycles are connected to moon.
Okay.
So if you observe the moon and if you observe a female's cycles, they are in sync. If the
Mm,
female is healthy, if the female is not healthy, it's absolutely not in sync,
okay.
and that's it's troublesome for females then, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So,
we're yeah.
what can men do to understand women better?
Well, you just have to, I think, listen because
Mm,
females often tell.
okay.
For a male, they don't have to hear somebody; they have to listen to the
Mm,
female, you know. And don't and number one and number two, I would say, do not try to hide your real intent
okay.
because the passive aggression then comes into play from the
Okay.
females. If the
Mm,
male is gonna try to hide something, if the male is gonna try to, decept her into something, because for the male, it's like I want to get this thing anyhow,
mm,
right? But it's not the same for the female. She's gonna be like, what is the intent behind whatever this man is doing? That's what I want to know. That is how she's gonna judge the male, not how. I'm not saying that women don't care about the exterior of the male. They do care about that, but at the same time, they're also more. Females are more um, how to say, like how males are more visual.
mm,
You get like if you see something visual, oh
yeah.
wow, what a nice female, oh wow, what a nice car,
Mm,
you get attracted to it, right?
yeah.
Females are more they pick up on sensory data.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if you're going through something, it'll show on your face and she'll pick up on that,
Mm, okay.
you know even if you don't tell her something, so but she'll still pick up on that subconsciously.
See,
Even
that's
she.
see, that's why we men are more paranoid.
Yeah. So what happens? What happens is that then whatever sensory data that she had picked up from your face,
Mm,
it's gonna build up slowly, slowly, slowly because she's not gonna tell you, or she's not. Maybe she'll even ask you what happened, but you will not tell her anything. But it will just keep on building, 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 and then it will burst into a passive aggression session. You know. So passive aggression females usually come when she is already like she's been observing since a long time
mm,
and now it's bursted like that. And and she'll express in a passive aggressive manner because she's like so females are always testing males, right?
mm,
They're always testing males. So she wants you to pass the test.
mm,
So it's not like she's gonna tell you the answer.
okay.
So she's gonna throw a passive aggression comment on you.
Okay.
She's not going to
Okay.
tell you that, and that is wrong. That's not the right way to behave. That's not what I'm saying. It's very bad at females' part,
Mm,
showing because females should, in that moment, in my opinion, practice patience and silence. That would do best. That
mm,
has done me best. That has made me handle my passive aggressive mood swings and all that.
mm,
But I think if we minus all this, if we minus passive aggression, if we minus all this, the root of this thing that why females don't tell directly, like why don't they just say directly what she wants, etc. It's that the same thing of testing. She will never tell you because she wants to know that if she throws a challenge at you, and how are you going to naturally respond to that challenge, and if she wants that natural response or not, if she wants to respect that or take that,
Okay.
you know so she wants the real from a man. That's what we teach in the free man also. That just because males very subconsciously they think, because to try and impress the female, right? They would do anything,
Mm.
you know, and they mostly go the wrong way, which is presenting themselves in all the false ways, in the ways in which they'll think that the
Yeah.
females will be impressed. And yeah, so many times it works, but not in the long run. She'll find out after 2 years. She'll
Mm.
find out after 6 months. She'll find out after 3 weeks. You don't know. It depends on the female's awareness as well.
Okay.
So you have to be, the more real of a man is, the more comfortable the female will also be in his company. The more safe and secure also she'll feel to express in his company. Because for females, I don't care how much of a outgoing or extrovert female you are, you would still take time to trust a man's company. It's not easy
Okay.
for a female, and it's biological, because we have
Okay.
to make sure that biological. I'm not saying that every male she wants to mate with and like have an offspring. I'm not saying that, but this is how the chemistry work. This is how the
Mm.
biology work. I if I'm meeting a male, I have to feel safe in his company.
Mm. Yeah.
Because I know that I'm a resource in nature.
Mm.
Females are a resource in nature. The resources must not be exploited. It must be protected.
Okay.
So females were exploited in the past, a lot
Mm.
by society, even by males,
Mm.
and corporations. And now they're exploited by corporations. They just don't
Mm.
understand that,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So that is the wound that they still have. That why am
Mm.
I still exploited? And the passive aggression is largely still playing on males. That is, ये तो इन्हीं की गलती है. It's
Mm.
their fault only. It's their fault
Yeah.
only, right? And now males are not being quiet about it. They are like, "Bas ho gaya.
Mm.
Now we won't take shit from you." That's where this thing, the hatred comes that you're speaking about.
Okay.
So this is how it's working, like on a macro scale.
Okay.
It's my observation. That's what I
Yeah.
see.
Okay.
So it's still biology, but it's
Mm.
working on like roids
Yeah.
right now.
Ah, yeah. It's very complicated.
It's very complicated. I know that.
Yeah.
I don't even know when people listen to this, will they be able to understand what I just spoke? But it does happen. I mean, if
Okay.
they hear this and they try to apply it in the real life, I'm sure they'll see how it plays out. It's very subliminal. It's very, as I said, subconscious. Because even this thing which is, I've heard from a lot of females, this thing which is, well, a man says something else and his actions are something else.
Mm.
So that is also something which is problematic, because you say something is communicating to the conscious mind, but you're doing your actions is the communication with the subconscious,
Mm.
and that is more important.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
for males, females, everybody. So I
Yeah.
think people are missing out on, because we are anyways, the communication from the outside world is to the subconscious. Whether you look at marketing, how it
Mm.
works today, whether you look at how we are sold things today, whether you look at social media, whether you look at the real stab, how it works. It's
Mm.
game theory. It's made by people
Yeah.
whose job is just to keep you on the platform. That's it, and
Mm.
keep you giving some kind of reward. Like you would keep scrolling, because every once in a while you'll get some reward. You'll get
Mm.
something which is, you'll like looking at it. That's how the feed works. That's
Yeah.
how it works. And people don't know it. They're just very like blindly just scrolling. And that communication of getting a gift is to your subconscious,
Yeah. It's
and
it's
you
very addictive,
it's
and
very addictive.
everybody's attention span has gone down nowadays because of 30 seconds reels. Now we can't even have a conversation in a restaurant without staring at our phone every 5 seconds, and it's
Exactly.
very life has become more boring because our attention span has gone down. We used to
They
take things
want,
very
yeah.
slowly before.
Yes, true. They want everything now. They want everything should be presented to them now, just like how everything is presented to them on the phone screen. They want the same thing.
Yeah.
They want the world to be a phone screen, and it's not possible. And that's how I've seen, because I have two teenage siblings as well, and I see them and I see how they operate, and I see how their college life is going versus their online and everything. And then it's just a tug of war between people. They are not able to make a connect between these two worlds, the real world versus the online world, because they keep lying to you back to back in the online world.
Mm.
It's a very it has never happened before to our civilization, right?
Yeah.
This Black Mirror, it never happened to us.
Mm.
So it's the first time it is happening to us, and it's still in a very young stage, I would say. You know, you don't know the future of social media.
Yeah.
You don't know where it will go.
Yeah.
So it's
It's.
still in a very young
Mm.
place. So people need to, you have to learn how to deal with it. You have to make boundaries with it, like how we have learned that if you want to eat meat, you have to cook it first. We have learned it through generations of practice. That's in our DNA. I feel going forward with social media, if we want to learn how to deal with it, we have to learn to draw boundaries with it. We have to have solid boundaries with social media. That is the way forward if you want to live a sane life with social media.
Yeah, what's very tragic is that I see many of my relatives who are new parents giving their kindergarten children smartphones, and I think that's very tragic. If I ever have a child, I won't give him her a smartphone until at least they're 15 or 16.
100%. I'm so even scared to think about a child. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like the world that we have right now. Parents are just so caught up in their lives.
Mm,
They don't think that the kid is also part of their life. Yeah, they love their kid.
mm,
Yeah, they do. It's their kid ultimately.
yeah.
But at the same time, they're just like, why are you crying? They're not able to understand why the
Yeah.
child is crying, to be able to
Mm,
understand the child better. They don't want to understand the child better. They want to shut him up,
yeah.
and they want to hand him the phone. That,
They
okay,
want,
you'll
yeah.
stop crying, just like be engaged here. They want to distract the child.
They want to program the child.
And because they themselves are programmed,
Mm, yeah.
right? They themselves are programmed to do that. So you have to instill values in your child, which is growing up in the world with social media. Like we grew up with social media. Social media grew up in front of us.
Yeah.
I remember the days when I used to go to cyber cafe to access
Yeah.
Google, and in my locality it would only come for 2 hours, and then it would not
Okay.
come.
Okay.
Because I'm from Central India, I'm from Indore. So now
Okay.
it has been a big city and all. Before it was not.
Okay.
Now it's like all good city and all that. But earlier it used to be like, if I want to, for school projects or something, I wanna, I have to have access of Google. I need to go to cyber cafe. I need to sit there and like, I need to get 2G internet. I need to open that, and then it would only come for 2 hours. That was the case. I've seen that, and now it's just on my beck and call.
Yeah.
But there's a price that you pay for it. There's
Yeah.
a price that you pay for it, and it's usually your freedom.
Yeah, even I remember the days in school and in early college. Internet was a luxury. We had to go to these cyber cafes, pay $20 per hour, to go online, or to most of the guys would go just to play Counter Strike or whatever. So,
Yes.
so
Contra and everything. I remember I had Game Boys. I remember I had
yeah,
that console of this thing. What do you
yeah,
say?
the
Uh,
cassettes.
Cassettes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So
I still have them.
that was a luxury back then. Now it's nothing. Even a beggar on the street will have hundreds of games on his smartphone. He has access to that.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So that's what people expect now. Social media has made people entitled,
Yeah.
especially females. They have made them like entitled to.
Yeah, entitled to an opinion. Earlier, people would think that their opinions didn't matter. Nobody,
Yeah.
90% of the people said, "Okay, I have opinions. I'm not going to share it because I might be wrong. I don't know." Now everyone, and I'm guilty of this too. Everyone thinks, "Okay, my opinion is supreme. If someone disagrees with me on Twitter, I shall die for it on social media today. They'll start quarreling so much. Like this, we are not used to this. We're not,
Yeah.
earlier we could only fight with people in our own house or at the most neighborhood. Today I can fight with some Peter from Oregon in the afternoon. In the night I can fight with some other guy. It's
You know,
meaningless.
I'll tell you how it's very different.
Mm,
Because what happens is that in the real world, you think before speaking your opinion.
mm,
Because you know there are consequences. There are
mm,
immediate consequences
mm.
to it.
Yeah.
And that's not the case on social media. Social media, you can create your own bubble,
Mm,
and you can, in that bubble, you can choose and you can edit what you want to say.
mm,
So that bubble and choosing and editing is not there
mm,
in the real world, right? In the real world, it's a constant real world feedback that you get.
mm,
And based on that feedback, you keep improving your life. You
mm,
keep going up or down wherever you want to go. So that's how you assess your life. That's how you assess where you stand
mm.
in the social hierarchy, right? When it comes to opinions.
Yeah.
So that's a real world feedback that we constantly get. It's not the case on social media. Even if you get the feedback on social media, you'll block it. You have the option to just switch it off. You have the option to edit. You have the option to reply back,
Mm,
and you
yeah.
think you have time to think and write and all that. It's not the case in the real world. Real world, there are no bubbles. There are no. I would speak to them and not to them and all that. In real world, there are real world consequences.
Mm,
You know, and
yeah.
online, what they've done is that they've presented people with choices
Mm,
and they've given them similar consequences under the name of community guidelines, like that. So
yeah.
when that's the case, okay, you would say it's a win-win situation. It's good, right? But it's not good when it comes to a human being's mental development.
Mm,
It's not good in that case. How would you improve without getting real feedback?
mm, yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And about your podcast, we know nothing. What kind of content do you put on your podcast?
So it's a lot of again expression there.
Mm,
Sometimes it's my solo expression. Sometimes I bring people as well.
mm,
And there are people who are doing things in their own life, right? I would not want somebody like, let's say, Amitabh Bachchan to be
mm,
on my podcast, or like Priyanka Chopra and all these big people. I want people to have like, I want people who have done real shit in the real world and they
mm,
know what they're talking about, and they're there. And that's why I've named it We Know Nothing, because we don't know anything,
mm,
right? And this is my attempt to like bring that to the table, that we don't know anything,
mm,
right? We can keep talking about things, we can keep talking about, but at the same time we talk about everything with that limited human perception, right? But the universe is not human centric.
mm,
So that's my attempt with the podcast, to tell people that whatever you say, you think, etc., at the same time, parallelly, to give it the right context, you have to understand that everything is not human centric, and
mm,
ultimately what you think is not the truth.
mm.
you know
Yeah.
it's something else, which we
Mm,
don't know,
mm,
because the more we know that we don't know,
yeah.
basically.
Mm.
So that's how it started, yeah.
Okay. And are you hopeful about the future of humanity?
uh, oh my god, how to answer this? Well, we are definitely going to have a future,
Mm,
but is that future clubbed with our complete freedom or not? I don't know about that.
mm, yeah.
Unless we take action now, unless we all stop becoming sharks to each other,
Mm,
like how the people who control us, they want us to be just, they want to pit us against each other, like how you have like hen fights, right?
mm,
Like that. And they bet, like, and they make money out of it. That's how it works.
mm,
So unless we wake up to that, unless we take some action on that, unless we take matter in our own hands,
mm,
and I also don't know how that will go. because people are people are not people anymore. They are sharks.
Mm. Yeah.
They've it's now in their DNA because that's needed for survival because they've kept everybody at survival
Mm. Okay.
still, so I mean, there is a future, but I don't know if it's clubbed with freedom or not. I don't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems even I'm very skeptical. It seems like we've reached kind of a divergence. Like half the people are going on one path, another half is going on another path. One group of people want more safety. They're willing to sacrifice their freedom. They're willing to be inside a cage as long as they get 3 meals a day. And another group of people are willing to sacrifice. They're willing to take responsibility as
Yeah,
long as they get freedom and autonomy.
and that would give you more suffering, but
Yeah.
you would be like, it's worth it
Yeah.
because it's for my freedom.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And there are two kinds of people now,
Mm.
and in the future also there will be two kinds of people. There will be people who are absolute slave, and they don't even know that they're slaves, and they don't even know what is going on, and they don't even know who they are working. They would think that they're working for themselves, but they would not know that they're working for somebody else.
Yeah.
They would not know that. Like how, I think, I don't know who said this, but it was a very famous gentleman who said this, that in the future you will not own anything and you'll still be happy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
this is their entire agenda of
Yes.
a World Economic Forum. I think it was
Yes.
Klaus Schwab who said this, the head
Clause.
of
Yeah, yeah. So
he.
they're doing it in plain sight. They're not
Yeah.
lying to you, and you're
Mm.
supporting it
Yeah.
with your energy, your time, and your money. So those kind
Unfortunately.
of people are still going to be there because those kind of people are too weak to face their own shadows.
Mm.
You have to face your own shadows. The fight is not, I'm not saying you go out and you stand in front of corporation and you fight. I'm not
Mm.
saying that. You have to fight your own shadows first.
Mm.
That is where the fight is. So
Okay.
the other people that you're talking about, they are fighting that fight. They're facing their shadows first. They're facing the what the fuck is wrong with them first.
Yeah.
And then they're winning that. And when you
Mm.
win that, you gain freedom.
Mm.
And that freedom is you then. Nobody can take it away from you.
Mm.
Because it's you.
Yeah.
It merges
Mm.
as you keep fighting your shadows, as you keep winning the battle.
Mm. Yeah.
So that is the battle that individual needs to fight with
Mm.
themselves first. And
Yeah.
then you come together and you fight for a cause.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know?
So I'm going to ask a vague question. Like, what do you think is the purpose of life?
I've written about it. I've thought about it a lot because growing up, I was like, whenever people used to ask me, "What do you want to do?" and I was like, "I want to do everything," and they were like, "You can't do everything," and I was like, "Why not?" Very innocently, I would ask this, "Why not?"
Yeah.
You know. And when I used to say, "Why not?" and my mom and dad used to laugh and everything, but growing up, how that translated was that I am doing a lot of things at the same
Okay.
time. You
Yeah.
know And when you look at purpose, I think our purpose is just to live.
Mm.
And we do everything else, but we don't do this.
Mm.
We are running in all the rat races, but we are not doing the simple thing which we're supposed to do, which is to live. I really very strongly believe that. I don't even believe, I've felt it and I've experienced it that when you live,
Mm.
the question of purpose, it just vanishes because you're already doing it. It's your experience, it's your being,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So when you start living, and when I say living, I don't mean going on a cruise and going on a vacation and living my best life. I don't mean that. I mean living your best life as well as living your worst life in the present moment.
Mm.
Because present can throw anything at you. Anything life can throw at you. You need to be accept you need to just accept it.
Mm.
That has been a biggest learning of my life as well, and that's what I say is how you live life. You just accept,
Mm.
you surrender,
Yeah.
and I think the purpose, if I want to put in more, good word, it would be to surrender.
Okay.
To surrender to just to surrender to life and its beauty. I mean, what else would you do? You can try everything, which people are doing. They're trying everything, but just to
Mm.
surrender to the creation, they've not tried that.
Okay.
And people who do that, you won't find those people
Mm.
on social media. You won't find those people. You would find those people in some Himalayas or somewhere, just doing their shit. Even in households, just being absolutely content and happy because they've just surrendered.
Okay.
They wake up every day and they ask that how can I be, they ask the world and they ask the universe, how can I be of more service today? You know?
Hmm. Yeah.
And I really feel like anyways, as humanity, our purpose is to serve. Like we serve
Mm.
each other. Right now I'm serving you, I'm speaking, you're serving me, you're
Mm.
giving me a platform. We anyways serve each other by default.
Yeah.
Right? So if that's a default, why not we bring it into our conscious attention?
Mm.
It will be much more beautiful then, and then these questions would just vanish, like what is my purpose and all that.
Yeah.
Because even this question is the part of the
Mm.
rat race. That's how they keep you in the rat race. My
Yeah.
purpose is to become like uh, this
Mm.
CEO of this company, and I want to be the managing director of this company and all that. Yeah,
Mm.
you know what? The journey, I applaud you for that. You achieved that, hell of a journey and hell of an accomplishment.
Mm.
And not anybody can do. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody is made for it.
Mm.
But before you evaluate, you know, the purpose, and before you evaluate like somebody else's intent, and evaluate your own intent, like what is your intent to pursue that.
Mm.
And it's usually people wanting acceptance, it's usually people wanting a sense of belonging, it's usually
Okay.
people wanting the belonging that we were talking about.
Okay. Okay. And we are going to surrender to time now and
And
conclude this podcast.
nice, good
Nice.
joke.
So,
Yeah.
do you have any questions, as we come
No,
to the end?
I just wanted to ask you about the books that you have behind you. You've read all of them?
Well, I have to confess, they're not for show. Okay, I've read half of them. I think. Let
Mm-hmm.
me see. Yeah, I've read around half of them. Maybe a little more, maybe around 60-70%. There are a lot of books that I've only read half of it. Okay,
Wow.
yeah. Some of
I
them
have
are.
like four books.
Hmm.
Literally, I have four books. I've never read a book in my life up until now. I've
Okay.
only read Bhagavad Gita.
Hmm.
That was also my mom. Um, in childhood, I have done that, but then I grew up and then I read it again and then I understood it from a different perspective. It's
Okay.
a hell of a book, but yeah, and I've not read any book, but I have certain selection of books
Hmm.
which I want to really read, but I've not been able to make time for it.
Okay. What kind of books do you want to read, or do you like to read?
Well, one of the books that I have is on Tantra. One of the books
Okay.
that I have is on climate change
Hmm.
and how it's like lying to people. So I want to
Hmm.
read that. I want to go into like actual nitty gritty of like what it is because it's written by a person. It's written by a climate scientist only.
Hmm.
Um, so all those kind of books. It's very weird taste I have. I have a book on
Okay.
nakshatras that I want to read.
Okay.
So it's a lot of I don't have any specific this thing that I want to read this. I have a book of Osho, Being in Love. I want to read
Okay.
that. So these 4 5 books I have. I just want to finish them. I'm not able to finish them. But I
Yeah. I
applaud people, and I'm absolutely in awe of people who like read books. Um,
I mean, I
who
have a weird collection too. There was a phase when I was reading novels, and I would go behind writers. I got an entire. There's this writer called Jeet Tail who was a drug addict. Okay,
hmm.
and I read one of his book, then I read two more of his books. Then I met him in Bangalore. I got a book autographed by him. Then I kept reading novels. I've even read Osho, The Independent Mind. That's a really good book. And
It's a
right
good
now,
one.
yeah, it's a really good book. Yeah, it's a
Okay.
very thin book, but it's a really good book. Osho is a very he speaks with a lot of clarity, and I really like him.
He was the man who brought material and spiritual together.
Mm.
Nobody
Yeah,
could do that. Not even
yeah,
Buddha could do that.
yeah, yeah.
Like, in Pune right now here, his ashram is here only in Pune.
Mm.
It's not the same anymore. Like
Mm,
what it stood for, what he stood for, etc. People still do like people, but people still benefit from his like
mm,
meditations and all those things. Osho was something else. He was
yeah.
just, you could see the way like he talks, like how you said, he talks with so much clarity.
Mm,
You could tell that this man knows.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and right now I think I'm reading a book on lucid dreaming. I've been trying to
Okay.
get into lucid dreaming because we sleep one third of our lives and we dream
Mm.
every night. If
Yes.
only we could remember them, and if only we were awake during those dreams, I could do so many things in my dreams if I was awake during those dreams.
Yes, yes.
So yeah,
The blue light which comes from these things, they do
yeah,
block your lucid dreaming.
yeah. Unfortunately, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, so people have started putting the films on this and the
yeah,
eyes and all of that.
yeah. Anyways, that concludes this podcast. Thank you so much, Ishi, for coming
Thank
on the
you.
Labyrinth.
No, thank you for having me. It was great that you gave me a platform to express. I'm grateful. Thank you so much, and I really enjoyed it. And I
Okay,
hope people will also enjoy it. Let's
awesome.
see.